Hi, been hectic here at the moment. But I'm going through getting a new socket with my prosthetic company, so it's been pretty sore, and it's like a hard plastic check sockets and all that, so it can be loose, it can be sore, and it's constantly modifications. But what I've been doing, I've been drag bike's pretty much done. We had a few problems with the heaters not working for the nitrous, and also the rear shock bit destroyed. So process of trying to get another shock for it, and I've got to look and see what's wrong with the heaters. But everything else, the bike was reliable otherwise. So there were just a few little minor issues really. But anyway, I've been trying to build the H2 up again. So I'm going to show you what I've done so far and the reason why, and I will do a bit more in today and show you what I've been doing. Anyway, I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you what I've been doing. Hi, yeah. What I've done is fitted the throttle bodies back in. Now there's only so many screws you can put in, or bolts you can put in on this until you get the plenum on, puts the rest of them on. There's one there, there's one on the other side. There's two. There's one on two on that side there, two on that side there, two at the end up there. Now the rest of them go through. As you can see, they're not threaded. They go through. They're threaded because it's got a bolt below it. As the plenum comes down, it tightens the throttle bodies all together. Bit of a finicky way of doing things, but there must have been a reason. I've put the fuel rail back on. Now I've gone back to the standard normal diameter fuel rail rather than the high flow one I've got, partly because the fuel pipes are easier to connect up, and I noticed on the other fuel rail where they join here there was an O-ring that was pretty much fallen to bits, so I decided to swap to a different fuel rail. And now what I've done here is I've took the top yoke off as well, started fitting my thumb brake, which is there, and I've put different bars on which are slightly more comfortable for us rather larger people. Looming, what's the name on, and just about starting the coils back in. Now obviously I'm using Power Commander, so you've got them like linked, you know, one goes into the thingy Power Commander to the Power Commander, and then from the Power Commander to the coils, and also just started putting the pipes on. And that's it for now, and I'll get back to you shortly. Hi all, I've had a busy couple of days, except for yesterday. I did some work on my Caravan because the aerial doesn't work, so I've had to try and fit a new plug and new outside plug and wiring and everything for the Caravan and a booster. So I've been doing that as well, and a few other bits like smoke detector, carbon monoxide on the Caravan. But as I say, I've done this video over a couple of days, so if continuity like clothes doesn't match, that's because I do clean your clothes. But if it does match, well, it's one of them. But anyway, I didn't do anything yesterday, because sorry about that, wife come in, so I just had to pause it a minute. Yeah, when I did not had much sleep on Saturday, Sunday and Monday night, about an hour's kip a night, and then come Tuesday night over Wednesday, I just slept. I was knocked out big time. I didn't wake up properly till about 8 o'clock in the evening on Wednesday. So I did tell my missus, I said, you know, I just like a sleep thing and struggling with pain and whatever. When I go out, I'll go out. So she just left me. Anyway, today I've been on the Caravan. I've done a bit more on the H2. What I'm going to do is going to show you what I've done on the H2 and what I've been doing, so on and that, and what's next, so on, and vice versa, and all that palaver. So I'll show you everything now, and I'll get back to you. Right. So since last time, I think I just fitted that on, but what I've done is taped them up. I've made plastic tie them. There's a rubber clip here which holds the two throttle cables together. So I've utilised that in holding those cables. I've just got to check that it's not pulling anywhere, but it looks like it's got plenty of free space. But this wire comes to the front camera, which is plenty of length at the moment. I'm going to have to tidy up the rest because you can't cut it because it's special plugs. And the yellow one is a switch. There's a switch on the handlebars there, where I can manually lock the memory card on what's just been recording. So if I see something happen ahead and I feel like the footage will need to be needed for, I don't know, insurance, somebody's life, somebody, whatever, I can lock the video and then get the video out and so on and that. The red wire is power. It's a very long wire, so it's gone all the way to the back of the bike, and it's got like a device in it. I think it's supposed to stop anti-static and so on and all that, so I don't want to cut that. As you can see, that's so that's yeah, I don't know, it says something weird on the back there, but yeah, it just tells you the colours and so on, and that's no problem. But that'll probably be that bit there to stop static and that. So that's quite a long wire, so it's going to go all the way back to the battery. I can cut it after that unit and then so on. Then we have the rear camera, which is filming on the front at the moment, but that has gone through all the way through. It's going to go to the back. That's one piece of wire, that, so I can't shorten that neither. Also, as you've probably seen, I have put rear subframe on. Let's move this out of your way. Rear subframes on, and under tray, battery, and feeding the rest of the loom through. We've got an earth, that earth goes all the way to the engine down the back here. You can just sort of see it, remove that fuel line. Just sort of see it down the bottom there. It's got an E on the bolt. It's funny enough, it's quite good, that, really. You can see it there now. That is the earth direct from the battery, that's where it goes. And the live goes from the starting solenoid there, which then clips into the loom there. You've got a power feed direct from live, and then you've got your other feed that goes to the alternator. Now, I haven't connected that one up yet, but it is pointed in the right direction, and then you've got a couple of other power feeds locked into the loom there. Fed the rest of the loom, that's what we need at the moment. Fed the rest of the loom under, goes round the back up there and back out. You've got the rear tail light one, diagnostic plugs, and left and right indicator there, and then there's another one which I've just lengthened so I could use any different setup, is the rear number plate light. Now, before you put this under tray in, have it loosely down and get this cable in for your key, because otherwise you cannot get to it. It's right underneath there, you cannot get to it otherwise. So I would put that on when that under tray is loose, because what I did, I put two side pieces on with that metal plate, with the metal plate on. Then the under tray comes up underneath, right, locks into two. I haven't put that one in yet. You've got two holding bits there, and then you've got two self tappers there that hold the plastic under tray on. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it seems to hold it well, put it that way. But I suppose when you get all your light unit on, which will clamp a bit more on, and so on, and side panels and so on, it holds more and more and more. And that locates in anyway, in there. Found my other original short fuel line, which I'm going to use from the tank, goes to the fuel rail, and then from the fuel rail comes through with a, where did I put it? Somewhere around anyway, but it's got a fuel line, there it is. I haven't chucked it through yet. Fuel line, and I haven't cut it down yet, which will go this side of the frame, obviously, and that will go into the top fuel rail. Now, that is an 8mm bore. I thought it was a 6mm last time, so I corrected myself, it is an 8mm bore. And I presume that is, it looks like a 6mm bore, but you can't tell for sure until you put a bolt in there, because it does reduce and then it goes wider inside there. But that's the original fuel line, and I put it there. I'm hoping it's going to be right, because when you lift the tank up, it will move with it, and then you won't snap it. If I put it underneath the loom, it won't have much flexibility, so I'm hoping that's the correct position. I will double check that before I permanently fix the fuel tank. A little note as well, this is carbon fibre panels, proper true carbon fibre. I had a lug brake there and a lug brake here, generally because I was sort of over tightening and being a bit vicious with it. Now, I've used Gorilla Glue on that, which is the It's like a tub. It looks like brown in thingy, and you've got a wet one side. Look at now. That Gorilla Glue is amazing on carbon fibre. I must admit, I've never realised it would be so strong because that holds the tank on. My ass is bouncing around on that, and that's 200 mile an hour, and that's not budging. So I really swear by that one for carbon fibre. Doesn't work so well on standard plastic, but carbon fibre, yeah, certainly works well. It goes that colour with the carbon, and it goes dries, and I let it dry for a while. I had broken. How to show you this one? See if I can get it in there right. Okay, slowly does it. Where are we? There, that one there. The inner bit where the bolt goes into, the bolt was just turning round because the whole thing was turning, so I had to cabbage to get it out. And then what I did is I put it's like a nut inside there in the carbon. I put the nut back in, put the glue on, clamped it with 2 mole grips and left it for 2 days. Now that, and then I cut all the excess off because you get loads of excess, some with the Stanley, and then put a tap through the middle, and that holds absolutely brilliantly. I didn't think it'd work, but it has worked, and that was with the same glue. So I swear by that. That's pretty much it. I'll put the exhaust on all the way through, and the exhaust stay. As I say, not put the end can on just yet because I probably want to take the wheel off, give it a bit of a clean, check it out, so before I put it back on. So tomorrow, I'll flick it around for tomorrow, and possibly over the next couple of days, depending, lights in the background. I'm going to get the inner sprocket on, get the chain on the rear. There's a little back plate to stop the chain jumping off from the inner sprocket and smashing your casings. I'm going to get that on. Then I'm going to the light for the starter motor will go on, and then probably a couple of the filter and everything, and the back air filter casing. This goes direct on the supercharger, the air filter, and then the front case. And then once I've got all that on, then I will look at putting the plenum on. I think may change what I'm going to be doing, because I've done, oh no, there's a water hose on that side I need to put on, a little I've got a little Samco green hose to go on, which is difficult to get to if I don't put it on now, so I'll get that on probably next. Get that clamped up, so that goes from the thermostat down to the water pool. So then get the plenum on, suppose, after all that. See how far I get, because I've still got bits to do on the van and the Caravan. I will be doing a little bit on the tow bar on the van, and I need to get that done anyway. What else? I've got a winch coming for the van, 12-volt winch, because I want to be able to winch all the heavy stuff in and out the van without having to push it with being an amputee. So I want to be able to winch the ramp up, which is thingy, so I've got to find a spot. It's going to have to probably go on the roof, but I might have to plate it from the outside as well and seal it and get some paint on it and whatever. You know, to put a big plate at the top, plates at the bottom, and then it's not going anywhere. But anyway, and I'm going to use snatch box to go put the winch in whatever position I want it. It's what I used to use in recovery. I've got one here from recovery, but it's for 16 ton. It's way too big for that. Might use it in here, utilise it as much as I can in here, I suppose. But yeah, and then I need to try and get the front nose cone on as well on this, and get it in position to be able to know where to place the front camera and the rear light unit, and number plate hanger to know where to put the rear camera. I will be taking the number plate hanger off for racing, but I need to know where I can put the camera without it affecting anything else. And that's it for now, but that's what I've done. I only come back in for my glasses and I decided to do this little video because I haven't done anything for a while. Yeah, go from there. Yeah, I've got the biggest sprocket you can get on the front, 22 sprocket. Can't get any bigger on the front of these, and you're restricted for it on the rear. So that's why, as you've probably seen in a previous video, I changed 5th and 6th gear to make it a bit taller. Sometimes it can be a bit too tall, because I nearly did 200 mile an hour in 5th, 199787 to be exact, in 5th gear, and it's still another gear to go. So we'll just have to see how it goes, because we've had a little bit more work done to it. After checking the oil pump guide as well, something was wrong with that, but that's been sorted now. So we're going to get back on the dyno and see what she'll produce this time. Especially I've put a narrower fuel rail on. I did have a high flow one on, but the O-rings are a little bit too loose on it. It's going to end up leaking, and I couldn't find any O-rings that'll suit it. So I decided, but save messing about, put a standard one back on. The top fuel rail's a lot bigger anyway, so and I've got to find my rising rate fuel pump and see if that will do the job as well. It was causing major problems and burning stuff out, but I spoke to the people who made it. They said there was a few went out that was causing problems like that, so they've given me a repair kit for it. But anyway, I've got to have a look at that as well. Right, thank you for watching. I'll speak to you again shortly.